Hi, my name is Bhavna Dhaya. I am a visionary priestess and I help you understand and discover your divine purpose and release your feminine wounds. Welcome to this month's energy update. I'm just going to tune in and start to share whatever comes to me as a communication with the highest form of guidance. So June is a very, very strong month. It is a crossover. It seems like a crossover between the first 5 months and what is to emerge over the next 6 to 7 months. Now, some of you might take it as a bridge between the last 5 months and what is going to happen in the coming few months. Some of you might look at it as a transition time. And some of you might look at it as a resting period. However, whatever way that you look at it and you utilize this time, there are a few themes or few things that you need to keep in mind. June is a major, major manifestation month. What that means is it is calling us to be in alignment with our physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual health. Unless we are aligned to what we are thinking, what actions that we take, and what we speak, we will not be in congruence over the next couple of months. Now, why is it important? Why is the month of June calling out to us to be in congruence, to be in alignment? I have been talking about this theme on my Instagram page for the past couple of months. That alignment is becoming more and more, is calling out to many of us in different ways. So some of us might be falling ill because we are not listening to our bodies. Some of us might be going through a very emotional time because we are not allowing ourselves to listen to our what we want, what I want. Am I really living the life that are according to my needs? Or am I living my life according to everybody else's needs and not honoring my own needs? Or if I'm not spiritually aligned, am I foregoing or am I excluding that part because of a certain block, or I feel that that's not me? Now, spirituality has changed its meaning, and I'll come to that in a bit. So if we are any of these, if we are not aligned, if any of these areas are calling out to you, you will realize that it is pushing you to alignment. Now, many times what we end up doing is that we don't listen to our minds, or we do not listen to our hearts and our bodies, and we let it slide. And till everything starts to go downhill, or things starts to change, or we get a shocker, right? Or the life that we wanted to create that starts to change because we have not been listening to our intuition. We are not listening to what we are being told through our spirit guides. Now, we can be told, all of us have intuition, all of us have spirit guides, we have our angel network, so to speak. We also have a lot of people who are helping us, right? And some of us will get to know through intuition, some of us will feel them, some of us might hear what they're saying, some of us might just open a newspaper page or a book and actually receive some guidance that is exactly what we need to hear, right? And so you need to start paying attention to these cues that are coming in your daily life. You may, whether you want to call it intuition, whether you want to call it angel guides, whether you want to call it spirit guides or not, it doesn't matter really. The name does not matter. One of the things from the beginning of this year has been playing out is that the names and labels that we have attached to certain things, or the meaning to the labels that we've attached, is going away. Many of us are feeling this. And so even though I might use certain words and terms, I would like to share with you that it is not about that particular label. If that triggers you, that's fine. You can use another term for it, right? And now talking about spirituality for each one of us might be different. I recently had an experience, a very beautiful experience, when I was doing a tarot reading for a very, very dear friend and wonderful person. And what came out is that for her, the meaning of spirituality is to bring joy to everybody around. The person has not had a bad childhood, a sad childhood, but is really the embodiment of freedom, freedom of just being yourself, freedom of just enjoying whatever there is. If there are roadblocks, that's fine. If there are speed breakers, that's fine. But if everything is going hunky-dory, that doesn't mean that you should not accept it. So that was a very good reminder for me also, that spirituality doesn't always mean that we are doing rituals or we are doing certain things. Now, this person that I'm talking about has probably done some rituals once in a while and doesn't really have a place for of God, or doesn't do things every day, and which is absolutely fine, right? But the spirituality for her is the meaning of being in touch with her own spirit. And being in touch with her own spirit means showing the world of joy, that how easy it is to live in joy. And even if something goes wrong, you can feel that, but not to wallow in it. So that person's purpose in the life of others is to show joy, is to shine through, and not to dim their light. When I worked with some other people, for them, showing their light or not dimming their light means that they have to become much more of their own person, which they have never been told. So they have to discover it, and it is a journey. But here, spirituality meant that feeling and sharing the joy of living, of whatever things are happening in your life with everybody else. So whatever spirituality means to you, that is personal to you. It doesn't matter what anybody else talks or feels about it, because even that meaning is changing in the world. Everything is becoming, in some ways, it's very interesting that in some places where we boxed certain things, we boxed gender, we boxed stereotypes of how a man or a woman should be, or what they need to do in society, or what a career looks like, or what spirituality looks like. All of that, those boxes are dissolving, those boundaries are dissolving. We are no longer going to be asked to be put in a box. And so when that unboxing is happening, or blurring of boundaries is happening for you, just accept it with reverence, because you are one of the ones who are getting to know about it much sooner than most other people. The second thing that is happening is, so in one sense, there is boundaryless is coming up. And in the another sense, there's strong boundaries, personal boundaries of each individual, each spirit. Now, that doesn't mean that I do not share my space with you. What that means is I have to be true to my own self. I have to be true to my own spirit. I have to be true to what I am and who I am. And for many of us, we may not know it, because when we were children, between the ages of 7 to about 15, we were told everything else. We were conditioned, we were put in boxes, and we didn't even realize that we were put in boxes, and belief systems were formed, or we were pushed to believe certain belief systems that were true for our parents or our grandparents or our lineage. So whatever path you might be on and where you might be at currently, just accept it with grace. Now, coming back to the theme of June, one of the common themes, like I said, is manifestation. It is a huge manifestation month, and for that, it means being in alignment to what we are thinking, what we are saying, and the action that we are taking. And the more that we are being in alignment, so a thought might come to you. So take action on it, right? And for example, calling somebody or messaging somebody, or something else might come to you. Take that action. The action doesn't have to be a 2-month or a 2-year roadmap. It can just be a few seconds of what you need to do, right? That is what you're contributing to the world. And the other aspect of June, what is happening is there's a lot of sense of joy and freedom. Now, this inner joy and freedom, many of the people who are aligned, and even people otherwise, there will be a general sense in the world. Now, what will happen is that if there are people, if you have been holding things back, if you are trying to power or push your way through life and navigate your life different to what it is, then you will feel sucked into a lower energy. You will be sucked into listlessness, and you will not know what is happening. So you will not feel that freedom and joy. Now, freedom and joy for the month of June means that, again, being true to your own self. And that's why I said it's a bridge. So the first 4-5 months were not easy on everybody, right? But whereas some people really took off. Now, whatever the first 4-5 months might have been for you, June is a sense of bridge. Whatever you have not done, what you had promised yourself, what you had thought you would want to do and you couldn't do, use the month of June to reset, to start being in alignment once again, right? It could also mean, if you are looking at shifting your life drastically, June is a good month to start planning that, to start doing that reset, or start taking enough rest to start jumpstart yourself, right? So June has multiple different themes based on where you are at present in your life, and use that time to really move forward. Now, one of the fortune colors is white. So if ever you're feeling unaligned or you are feeling underconfident, wear anything in white. The whiter, if it is plain white, the better it will be for you. And this is for everybody who is listening to this video, whenever you do listen to it. So though if it is plain white, it would be better. If it is if it has some print, that's fine. And let me just see what else is coming up. Notice the numbers that are coming to you. I'm getting that many of you are seeing 3s and 9s. So let me know in the comments if you're seeing a lot of 3s and 9s. If you're seeing other numbers, you can type that as well. Those of you who are seeing angel numbers or 555, your life is going to go through a huge transition. So just be ready, be accepting of that transition, be accepting of that change, and don't worry about how things are going to be happening, right? So June is not a month of fear, because joy and freedom do not get along with fear. So June is all about getting fearless. And if you don't know what that means for you, you can reach out to me and we can see if we can work something out together, right? Let me just see if there are any other things that need to be shared at this time. At a world level, there is a big concoction of things that are happening. The first 3 weeks of June are going to be relatively unpredictable. They'll be between a stalemate and unpredictability, because there are people and there are talks that are happening behind the scenes that we may not be aware of. Towards the end of June, the issues in Ukraine and between Ukraine and Russia will start to melt away. They will start to, there is a room for negotiation and there is a room for settlement. Now, if Ukraine and Russia by themselves come together, there is a high possibility of peace being reset. If there are other countries, for example, European countries or the US, that interfere, it will not turn in the best way for the citizens. And so those of us who are, who believe in the power of prayer, I would request you to send a lot of prayer to Ukraine and to Russia, that the right thing happens. The right thing for the general population of Ukraine and Russia needs to happen. We do not need any more wars. This war that has happened is a reminder, and it is a blatant view of what we create ourselves. And without getting into who is to blame, just remember that we are creating this. So if there is war that takes place, in the world, there is a war inside of me. I am warring either with my own self or I'm warring with somebody else. So to remove war from the world, we have to remove the war from within. Let me just see if there's anything else. Okay. So yes, so that's it. So the themes are be in alignment, freedom and joy, and make the most of this bridge and this crossover time that we have been given in June to make the life that you have been thinking, that you have been dreaming of. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel. And you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook, where I'm equally active. So for shorter videos, you can find me on Instagram. And I would love to see you at any of these places. Lots of love and take care.